Now, moving on to what's happening with the historic bonds. The latest word is that things are progressing very well. I'm still hearing that there's been significant forward movement, and from what I've been told, everything is on track to be completed this week. That's a promising sign because once these bond processes are finalized, the path is expected to open up for the next steps, groups like CMKX, farm claims, and the prosperity packages. After those are addressed, it should finally be our turn. These confirmations coming from the bond side are being viewed as a very positive indicator. The expectation is that enough of them will be processed this week to allow for progress in all other areas to begin. Meanwhile, let's talk about the Iraqi Dinar, or IQD. Lately, the IQD has been trading in a pretty narrow and stable range between 1305 and 1310. In a global economy where currencies can fluctuate wildly at a moment's notice, this kind of consistency is actually quite noteworthy. So what does this stability really mean for Iraq and its economy? One of the major developments to understand here is that Iraq's central bank is working to introduce a government-backed digital currency. The main goal of this move is to eliminate the black market rate and establish a single unified exchange rate across the country. Why is this important? Because multiple exchange rates create a lot of confusion and uncertainty. A stable and transparent rate gives both businesses and individuals a better sense of what their money is actually worth. It builds trust and provides a foundation for economic planning and foreign investment. The black market has been a long-standing issue, offering exchange rates that are often much higher or lower than the official rate. This kind of inconsistency causes problems throughout the economy. People don't know which rate to trust, and that uncertainty makes financial planning difficult. By launching a digital currency controlled by the central bank, Iraq aims to centralize the currency flow, making it more predictable and less vulnerable to manipulation. This new digital currency will be backed by the Iraqi government, which makes it fundamentally different from volatile cryptocurrencies. Unlike Bitcoin or other digital assets that are subject to speculation and rapid market swings, this currency's value will be tied directly to Iraq's economic strength. That could make it much more stable and reliable for everyday use. So, what does this mean for the people on the ground in Iraq? Imagine being able to walk into any store and knowing exactly what your money is worth. No more guessing or wondering if you're getting ripped off. Prices become more consistent, and life becomes less stressful when there's no constant concern about changing rates. This could be a huge benefit to daily life. Another key aspect of this initiative is simplifying the entire exchange process. Right now, with multiple exchange rates floating around, it's hard for businesses to budget or plan ahead. For example, a company importing goods might pay one rate while another company pays a different one. That kind of disparity creates chaos. With one uniform rate, all transactions become more straightforward and fair, and that can help the economy grow by encouraging more domestic and international trade. Of course, introducing a digital currency comes with its own set of challenges. Not everyone has easy access to digital payment systems. Some people might not feel comfortable using digital tools or might worry about cybersecurity. These are real and valid concerns. That's why the central bank will need to invest in education campaigns to help people understand how to use the digital currency and what steps are being taken to keep their money safe. Accessibility will be a key factor in the success of this new initiative. We can also look at how other countries have managed similar transitions. For instance, China has been testing its digital yuan for several years now. They've faced their fair share of obstacles, from privacy concerns to public resistance. But they've also seen some promising results. Iraq has a chance to study these examples and tailor the most effective strategies to its own unique situation. One of the potentially transformative aspects of a digital currency is how it could help the government monitor financial transactions more effectively. This kind of transparency could help reduce corruption and boost government revenues, allowing for better services and infrastructure. Of course, there's always a debate about privacy versus oversight, but if done correctly, it could be a powerful tool for good. Now, let's take a moment to talk about the budget, or rather the lack of one. There's a reason we haven't seen it yet, and it connects directly to things like back pay and the resumption of oil production. Iraq's financial system is deeply interconnected. Every part depends on the other. Without a clear and updated budget, nothing moves forward. And at the current exchange rate of 1310, it just doesn't make sense. The math doesn't add up, and financial planning becomes impossible under these circumstances. Budgets are essential because they show us where money is coming from and where it's going. They give people clarity and direction. Without a budget, everything feels up in the air, and that causes frustration and uncertainty, especially when it comes to paying salaries and wages. These delays aren't just a bureaucratic inconvenience, they're affecting real lives. People are waiting on money they've earned, and that kind of instability creates widespread discontent. When it comes to oil production, the stakes are even higher. Iraq relies heavily on oil revenue, and delaying production while waiting for a budget is like putting the economy in park and taking the keys. You can't go anywhere without a plan. That's why people like Mr. Sammy have been so vocal. He's made it clear that without a new exchange rate, nothing else will fall into place. It's a bold claim, but when you dig into it, it makes sense. A revised exchange rate could act as a reset button, allowing the country to move forward with policies and programs that reflect economic reality. When countries update their exchange rates to match real-world conditions, the changes can be dramatic. Prices stabilize, foreign investment increases, and public trust starts to rebuild. It's not just about balancing books. It's about restoring hope and creating momentum. Right now, at a rate of 1310, every economic decision is an uphill battle. The numbers don't reflect what's really happening on the ground, and that causes ripple effects throughout the entire system. So why are we stuck in this situation? Often it comes down to politics. Decision-makers hesitate because change brings backlash, and in an uncertain environment, it's easy to choose the status quo. But the longer we wait, the more the anxiety and pressure build. Action is needed. We need courage and clear communication to move past this impasse. Looking at other countries that have taken bold steps to reform their financial systems, we can see the results. Exchange rate adjustments, when done thoughtfully, can spark real economic recovery. It's not just about making technical corrections. It's about giving people a reason to believe in the future of their country again. The path forward involves a few essential steps. First, we need widespread public awareness. People have to understand why these changes matter and how they affect their everyday lives. Next, transparency is key. The government must be open about where the money is going and what the priorities are. A visible, accessible budget builds trust. And finally, we absolutely need an exchange rate that accurately reflects Iraq's true economic position. This isn't about blaming anyone, it's about laying the groundwork for a more stable and prosperous future. We need to unite around shared goals and stop letting fear of change hold us back. Now I want to hear from you. Have you been affected by salary delays or financial instability? What do you think about the introduction of a digital currency or the possibility of a new exchange rate? Share your experience in the comments. We want to start a real conversation around these issues. The future of the IQD in Iraq's economy could be on the verge of a major transformation. As we continue to follow these developments, we're hoping for positive changes that benefit everyone. Stay tuned for more updates as they come in. And remember, knowledge is power. Let's stay informed and engaged together.